When you want to pull a report to see data on the people on your list or the performance of an action, Action Network makes it really easy to see that information. To start, go to the Start Organizing menu and click to create a report. Choose which list you're working from, whether that's your individual list or from your group, and then give your report a name. I recommend coming up with a naming convention for your reports so that you'll have consistently named reports to look at that indicate both the content of the report and the date or month that the report was created. And now you'll select what list you're looking for using our targeting options. If you want to get a report of your entire list, just leave all these options blank. We do our targeting based on includes in the left column and excludes in the right column. When you select multiple options from within a category, that's an OR operation. People from Alabama or Alaska. And then, when you choose items in another category, that's an AND operation. People who live in Alabama or Alaska and who have signed this petition. This targeting system works for most situations and the way most people look for their data. But if you need to configure things differently, you can do that with our Query Builder tool. For more information on how to do that, you can watch our video tutorial on the Query Builder. So, as I said, we do the targeting with includes and excludes, and you'll select most of these by clicking on the block and choosing from the drop-down menu, like we just did with the states. You can choose to include or exclude people from a particular state or from a legislative district. You can include only people who live in a particular country. You can target people who live within a set radius of a zip code or who live within a radius of any of the events in your event campaign. If you have a network on Action Network, you'll see the option to target to people in certain child groups within your network. With letter campaign targets, you can pull a report of anyone on your list that lives in the legislative district of any of the targets in your letter campaign. Here you can target people who have or have not taken a particular action, like signing a petition or RSVPing to an event, or people who have or have not received a particular email that you've made. And you can target people based on whether they've opened an email that you sent or whether they've clicked on any of the links in a particular email. In this fundraising section, you can get a list of people who are donors, people who are recurring donors, and people who are eligible for one-click donate because they've saved their payment information in our system. You can also choose based on the amount donated within a certain period of time. Here you can target to people based on source code, meaning where they came into your list from. If you want to learn more about how to track people based on source, you can watch our Common Action Concepts video. And you can target based on tags that you've applied, or based on responses that people have given to custom questions that you've asked, or custom field data that you've uploaded. You can target to people from a report that you've previously run, or you can do your targeting to people who match the parameters of a query that you've created with our Query Builder that I mentioned earlier. And lastly, you can target people based on how many of your actions they've taken within a set period of time. Get a list of your most active people to try to get them engaged in different ways, for instance. You can also get a list based on people's subscription status to your list. The box for subscribed is pre-checked as your default. These are people who are on your list with, as far as we know, a valid email address. If you want a list of people who have unsubscribed from your list, check that box instead. If you want a list of people who have bouncing email addresses to see what's going on, maybe it's a valid email address that you thought should have been working, click here on the bounces box. Check only that box, and you'll get a list of email addresses that have bounced, so maybe you can go in and correct a typo or see what's going on. You can also see a list of people who have filed spam complaints about you. Once you've done your targeting, click the blue button to go to the next step. Here, you'll tell us what columns you want in your report. We'll default to first name, last name, email address, and zip code, but you can choose other or additional fields using these drop-down menus. Your options are things like what legislative district people live in, what tags a person has attached to them, or the last time they subscribed to your list. Here you can also select columns for your custom fields. So any custom question that you've asked on an action or that you've uploaded for people, like a phone number or the organization they work for, that'll show up here. Note that with custom fields, they will only show up here if someone has given you data. So if nobody has filled out that phone number field on your petition, phone number won't show up here as an option, even though you've created the question. We give you 8 columns, but if you need more, just use this green button to add more fields. Once you've selected all the columns you want, click on this blue button to save and get results. Here you'll see the total number targeted up top, as well as buttons to duplicate or edit your report. You'll also see a preview of your report. Don't worry that it doesn't have all your people, it's just a small preview. To get your full report, click on this green button to the right to download a CSV file. Once you click that, we'll generate your report and send an email to the address associated with your account. In the email will be a link, and you just click that to download a spreadsheet of your report. Once you've pulled the report, you can also create an email targeting all of the people in this report. You can also do a bulk subscription to a list, so you can move people from your personal list to a group or from one group to another. Please only do this if people have indicated that they want to hear from that group or organization. Don't move emails from one list to another without people opting in. If we discover that you're spamming people or that you resubscribed people who have unsubscribed without their consent, we will delete your account. Lastly here, you can bulk unsubscribe all of the activists on this list. You can also mass add a tag or remove a tag from all of the activists on a list. This is great for things like removing people from your list who haven't opened one of your emails in more than a year. If you have any more questions about reports or anything else on Action Network, please visit help.actionnetwork.org.